G7 finance ministers say Russia should no longer participate in international forums. The announcement comes after officials from Britain, the United States and Canada walked out on Russia's representatives at a meeting of G20 finance ministers yesterday. Now, diplomats who left say that Russia's invasion of Ukraine isn't compatible with international cooperation. For more, Nina Maria Potts joins us live from Washington, D.C. Nina, despite that walkout, Indonesia, the current holder of the G20 presidency, says that the group is going to remain committed to multilateralism. How realistic is that, though, given President Putin has expressed his intention to attend the G20 summit?
Well, this episode has been very awkward for Indonesia, as it would have been for any country in the president's seat of the G20. What's notable about the G20 is that it's known for its blandness in the sense that over the last decade, it has mainly pushed through sensible financial reforms. And the aim of the Club of 20 has always seemed like a very good idea, but it's always been hard to achieve consensus. And that's because the club is so large. And to some extent, that's why it never concludes anything particularly controversial, especially when the focus is on finance. So this week's drama is very uncharacteristic, but it will likely define diplomacy at a geopolitical world level, like at bodies that, such as the UN, while the gulf over Russia and Ukraine continues to widen. There's no formal rule governing the G20, so it's always been assumed that a member can only be expelled if everyone gangs up against them. That's what happened in 2014 with Russia over Crimea with the G7, which then became the G8, when the G7 countries ganged up against Russia. Several G20 members like China do not want to cancel Russia. And as you say, Vladimir Putin apparently wants to attend a G20 summit later this year. So I think it's going to become increasingly awkward.
Plenty of awkwardness in all probability. But Nina, in the meantime, the US president is expected to announce more military aid for Ukraine.
That's right. President Biden's expected to announce the new aid package in the next hour here in Washington, D.C. That package is expected to be similar in size to the $800 million package announced last week. That would build on the some $2.6 billion in military assistance already approved for Ukraine. The package involves heavy artillery and ammunition for Ukrainian forces. It's designed to help the Ukrainians in the battle for the Donbass region in eastern Ukraine. And we should probably say it's not just the US boosting aid packages. The Canadians this week have said that they're sending heavy artillery to Ukraine. The Dutch, too, are sending more heavy weapons, including armored vehicles. The US has already provided more than 50 million rounds of ammunition to Ukrainian forces. But basically, the problem is that the troops are getting through those rounds so fast, tens of thousands of rounds a day, that there's a very urgent need on the Ukrainian side now for additional aid. But we will have more details in the coming hour.
Nina, thank you for that. Nina Maria Potts there in Washington, D.C.